Planet Full of Plastic and How You Can Help by Neal Layton. Hello, you. Who, me? That's right. Quick question. Do you ever think about what things are made of? Because some things are made of paper, like this book. Some things are made of wood, or metal, or glass. But some things, in fact, lots of things, are made of something called plastic. Have a look on this page. See what these arrows are pointing at? Do you have those things at home? Because they involve plastic. See how many you can see that you have at home. Isn't plastic fantastic? It sometimes comes in lots of different shapes, sizes, and colours. Sometimes it's bendy, sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's big, and sometimes it's really, really tiny. If you look around you, plastic is everywhere. But where does all this plastic come from? I'll give you a hint. It doesn't grow on trees. That's right. It's made in factories. All these different factories make different kinds of plastics. You see, 150 years ago, there wasn't any plastic. Only materials like wood, metal, paper, and stone. And then one day, super chemist, Mr. Bakeland, made an incredible discovery. Wow! His eyes are popping out of his head there. He must have discovered something incredible. Have a look at all these things around his lab. I wonder if he invented these. Crazy, groovy, plastic is fantastic, they all said. They started making lots of it and using it for just about everything they could. Have a look at all the different things on this page. You might want to pause it so you can read all of them. But there was a problem. If you look around, you won't see any plastic where it's meant to be. You'll also see it where it's not meant to be. Because one of the most amazing things about plastic is that it doesn't biodegrade like natural things. Oof. That's a big word. What does it mean? So this is an example of where plastic should be and where it shouldn't be. Can you see where the plastic should be and where it shouldn't be? The arrows are there to help you out. Let me explain. This is talking about biodegradable. If a leaf drops to the ground, it will go yellow, then brown, and all skinny and thin until it's just mud and dust. It takes a few months. You can't see them, but bugs are eating the leaf, breaking it down. And it's the same with an apple core or any other natural thing. This is called biodegrading. Apple cores take about 8 weeks to biodegrade. So it's not quick, but it still happens. Ooh. So here's an example of a leaf. So it falls to the ground. After about 1 week, it turns yellow. Then you can see the little bugs munching away on the leaves. Then after a month to 6 months, it turns into dust. So here's an example of how long things take to biodegrade. Twig, over a year. Paper, 4 weeks. Banana peel, 6 weeks. Leaf, 6 months. Plastic is different. It drops to the ground and it just stays there for years and years and years. It doesn't biodegrade. Really? Yes, really. This makes plastic super useful because it lasts a long time, but it also creates a problem. Let's go have a look at the picture showing us how it's biodegrading. Doesn't look like it's changing after 1 month, after 1 year, or many years later. If plastic ends up where it's not meant to be, it will stay there for years and years until eventually the weather breaks it down into smaller and smaller pieces of plastic. A huge amount of this plastic eventually ends up in the ocean. So as you could see, plastic ends up in the ocean ways in many different ways. From toilets, from a plastic factory, dropped from boats, people's rubbish from the bins, from the storm drains, dropped on the beach, fishing nets, all sorts of ways. So those storm drains come from our streets. So if you don't put rubbish in the bin, it ends up in those storm drains and eventually into the ocean. Some of it floats to the top of the ocean and stays there, and some of it sinks to the bottom of the ocean and stays there. All of this is a really big problem for animals. Some of them get tied up in it. Some of them try to eat the plastic. Because of the circular currents in our oceans, the bits of plastic have collected together, creating 5 enormous garbage patches full of plastic. The most famous is called the North Pacific Garbage Patch. It is currently 3 times the size of France. That's this part here, the North Pacific Garbage Patch. Okay, it's 3 times the size of a big country. And there's 4 other ones. The South Atlantic Garbage Patch, the Indian Ocean Garbage Patch, the South Pacific Garbage Patch, and the North Atlantic Garbage Patch. Imagine if a whole heap of rubbish ended up in your home. Wouldn't be very good. But I don't want the animals to get hurt, and I don't want and I don't want our planet to fill up with plastic. Well, we all need to try to reduce how much plastic we use every day. The less we use, the less we have to clean up. And people who make stuff for us need to think carefully about what they do with plastic. Creating things that will be thrown away in minutes but stay in the environment forever isn't right. People make nearly 330 million tonnes of plastic each year. Around half of it is only used once and then thrown away. Doesn't seem like a good use. So these are different examples of single-use plastic here. See what you can see. Do you recognise anything? Lots of plastic things are meant to be reused over and over again. Let's make sure we do. And if we have finished using a plastic thing, perhaps we can pass it to someone else. For example, baby toys. Reuse them. When the plastic stuff has been reused lots of times, it should be recycled so it can be turned into new plastic things, not just thrown away. But plastic can only be recycled a few times before it stops being useful, and not all plastic can be recycled. So environmentalists are teaching people about the problem because everyone needs to help fix it. Scientists are coming up with clever ideas too, experimenting with special bugs which might help plastics biodegrade, and finding new materials for us to use. Scientists hard at work up the top there. And engineers are looking at ways we can clear up the mess. So perhaps a giant floating net to catch the plastic, a solar-powered wheel to collect the plastic out of the ocean, or a boat that eats plastic, or a sea bin. I wonder how the animals use that. It will take each and every person working together to stop the planet filling up with plastic. It's a big job, but I reckon we can do it. Thanks for listening. There's a happy earth there. How you can help. There are loads of ways you can help solve the plastic problem. You could, 1. Get creative and reuse the plastic you already own. Bottle to water plants, plastic bottle as a mini greenhouse, shaker made from tub, pen pot made from tub. Plastic trays make great paint palettes. Maybe you could ask your family to replace anything made from or packaged in plastic with more eco-friendly options. Grab some gloves and take part in a cleanup near you, whether it's on a beach, in a park, or on the street. You could do it for 2 minutes or 20. And you know, it's not just grown-ups who have big ideas. Hannah Tester knew that more people needed to learn about the plastic problem. By the time she was 14, she had created Plastic Pollution Awareness Day. Boyan Slat was just 16 when he realised how much plastic filled our oceans. Since then, he's invented a system called Ocean Cleanup, which gathers up plastic to be recycled. Meliti and Isabel Wigerson started campaigning against plastic bags in their home country of Indonesia when they were aged 10 and 12. Their campaign, Bye Plastic Bags, has gone global. It even happened here in Australia with Woolworths and Coles. Researching and writing this book has changed the author, Neal Layton's life. My hope is that reading it might change yours too. So, can you think of a big idea to help save the planet? That is a big question. What's your big idea to help save the planet?